Okay, I think we're officially on. You know, we don't never know when it'll be saying it's on, but then I don't know all the time. Believe it. It's Thursday, everybody. Hello, welcome. It's a new topic and a new day, so let's get into it.
You look so cute.
Okay, girl, this your part. I'm waiting for you. This is supposed to be the intro.
Oh, hey everybody. All right, listen. We're so tired. And guess what? Time is moving really fast. Have you figured that out? It's like October and it's almost the end of October. Okay. No. Tomorrow will be the 20th. So we're almost to the end of it.
I keep telling you I'm over 2023 anyway, so I'm fine with it. But
listen, and so for all intents and purposes, it's Christmas. I went to Big Lots the other day, and
I don't believe
the
in the
whole
consumerism.
half of the store is Christmas stuff. So if you're not ready, you better get ready because it's here. And then, what does that mean? I don't know about you.
You don't ascribe to the anxiety. I don't. But
yeah, but for a lot of people, it's a very anxious time and stressful time of the year. You're trying to buy gifts. You're trying to do this.
Don't buy the gifts.
You're trying to decorate the house. You're trying to all the things. And so it's making you a little hectic, and it's putting an additional level of stress on top of the stress that you already have, right?
And you're about to spend time with your family.
Oh my God. So yeah, how are you going to keep up? Not just with Christmas, but with the rest of the world and your life and all the things that you have to do. Maybe you've decided, I'm tired. I can't keep up. I don't want to try to keep up anymore. And you're trying to figure out how to stop grinding all the time and take care of yourself and your relationships and in the process and get through the holidays and whatever. If you're thinking about all that and it's making you a little bit crazy, stick around. This episode is for you. Hi, I'm Pam Williams, a mother.
And I'm Jessica E. Williams, a daughter. And this is a mother and a daughter truthful chat, where we discuss our 35-year multi-layered relationship.
We've been through so many ups and downs. Not only are we family, but we're business partners in the high-stress world of event planning and production for short films.
We've also shared the same therapist for over 10 years. What some people call codependence, we call collaboration.
So join us as we share stories from our lives,
have candid conversations with other mother-daughter duos,
and shed light on the roller coaster ride of being a woman while raising a woman.
Hello, everyone. Cups up if you have cups, indulge us.
Oh, wait, like my cup is always backwards.
We didn't have the same cups 2 weeks in a row.
All right, well, we can get different cups.
I am a Gemini. I'm inquisitive and I am quite restless.
And I have love in my heart.
It was my friend Cassie.
But Cassie's not there, but I think of her in my heart. This cup used to have a little girl on the top of it, at the top of the heart. But anyway.
At the top of the heart.
The love is still in my heart. Yay.
Welcome to Truthful Chats, everyone. If you're new here, if you're back, welcome back. Welcome back. You know you like that. Was that Mason's song originally, or did he still sample it from someone else?
He sampled it from Welcome Back. That part?
You know,
he sampled it. I don't know that song.
I don't know the original. I know the Mason.
I think he sampled it from Welcome Back, Kotter. The TV show? Did it sound like that?
Maybe. Anyway, that's what I always sing when I say welcome back. Anyway, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. Here at Create Generational Wellness, which is the channel that you're watching. This particular show is called Truthful Chats. We do this every Thursday. And some days it's been a struggle, but we have been committed to consistency and we've done it. Okay. So at Create Generational Wellness, we have a theme every month. And then Truthful Chats where we unpack that theme just a little bit. So it is October. Still, it won't be for long before November's here. But it is still October. The topic is evolve. And today's episode is evolve your hustle. So hard. Okay. Things on things. And that's important, especially as the holidays are upon us. And really the inspiration for this topic was it's the end of the year. And I was thinking about some people that really just
no, you didn't. Okay, but you did.
I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about the demographic, the cross-section of humans that when this time come around, as if you're not already tired from the things that you did the other 10 months of the year. Now, at the end of the year, you want to gear up for what? Buying stuff, cooking meals, which we all appreciate, and just doing a whole bunch of really unnecessary things. Some of y'all is Q4. Y'all really trying to get these last couple sales in. You just turn into another level of hustling, which is beautiful, it's great, but you also don't necessarily have the rest balance required to gear up for the next 12 months. Really, at the end of the day. Okay. So
you start the year exhausted.
So you ended the year exhausted, you start the year exhausted, and then you be like
that, but that's
I
true.
don't know why this year is not any different than the last year. And I'm like, because you're running on fumes. And some of y'all been running on fumes for 20, 25 plus 40 years of just running on fumes. It's craziness. Anyway, so that brings us to said topic. And maybe some of us at my camp, we rest too much and we could be being more productive, but whatever, fam. Anyway, this is all about work. But see, I bring this up because I was watching our forever president, Barack Hussein Obama's documentary called Working on Netflix. I was going to say the Netflix, but I'll be trying to convince myself I'm not old. Anyway, on said Netflix documentary, it was an exploration of work. And it was some scientist, Barack is smart. Cultural. He's also sort of a cultural anthropologist. I say that about Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, all the time, but so is Barack Obama. So he was talking about this man who had done this study about people who are working.
Turkle. It's a real old study, but years and years ago.
Shout out to Studs.
Studs Turkle.
He was probably passed, but shout out to you. Okay. So anyway, he did a exploration about working in the 50s, about like who were just the middle class, really, like people who just did factory jobs and regular things and how they connected to their work or didn't connect to their work or loved their work or hated it or was just like, I just do what I got to do to get the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
No option.
So Barack Obama, being Barack Obama, decided to do the same thing, but look at work now. So it was like the service economy. So it was people who work in hospitality, people
Tech.
who, well, not service was hospitality, the gig economy. So it was a girl who was Uber Eats and doing all that. Home healthcare workers in the South, which was really a treatise in the segregation economy that still exists, but we'll get into that later. And then there was also, then they would climb the ladder. So it was like, who's at the bottom of the ladder? Then they would do like mid-level. So these were all the tech people who were like doing self-driving car work and technological stuff. And then they went all the way up to the CEO, and they were just trying to figure out like how fulfilled people were in their jobs and their work. Anyway, that's the impetus. So I feel like the work-life balance, hustle to harmony situation has changed. And we all know that because of the pandemic. Like, I feel like everybody decided you went from doing stuff you would have never thought about, no other kind of way of living your life until you had to, okay? Because it was shut down on everything. Aside from, again, the lowest workers on the totem pole, and I use that with air quotes, saying service work, right? Like healthcare didn't stop. Some forms of public transportation didn't stop. People were still delivering things. People was risking their lives, literally, in service industries, which they point out in the documentary. Those people will always have a job because there's always some form of service that's needed.
So they figure out these robots.
Until they figure out the robots. So they were talking about tech in that. And they were saying that those are often the lowest paying jobs, right? But people stay in them because it's consistent income or whatever. And very rarely do they rise with inflation. The pay, which is why everybody's striking. SAG after strong. We still out here. But that's part of it, right? Is the working wages don't always increase with what is actually happening in the world. So anyway, COVID-19 really shut a lot of that stuff down because people couldn't work. They had to find other ways to work, which was remote working. And, for lack of a better word, it wasn't sort of like slave driving boss mentality, right? Of like, I need to see you to see if you actually doing the work. I'm like, there's a computer somewhere that's clocking your hours, and, we can put this information in and you can see what I worked on or didn't work on or evaluate my performance from there. Now, as soon as outside opened up, they was like, you need to come back to the plantation.
But people are not
lay
going
eyes
back.
on you. But some people are not. And, we were actually talking about this at my job not too long ago. It is my sort of mantra. I can't prove it because I'm not an anthropologist and I ain't doing no research, but it's a lot of people out here doing jobs that they're not qualified for. So after the pandemic, that was like, well, either I lost my job or that sector doesn't exist anymore. So let me just get out here and do something. But the level of customer service in these restaurants and some of these places, you just be like, why are you here? Because this is clearly not your calling. So a lot of things have evolved in terms of people's flexibility, their schedules, what they actually want to be doing, which they say is the millennial thing, right? Like we the first people.
It's a senior citizen.
We the first people that was like, we not finna do this job if we don't like it like that, right? Like that's they talk about in the documentary is like every 3 to 4 years. One of my best friends still in the same sector, but she done jump from job to job to job. The pay increase, the flexibility of time, all of those things. That she used to be like, I don't like it here, so I'm just finna move. Some people, our parents' generation up, they stayed at the same job for like 40 years. Hated it, but it paid the bills, kept the lights on, all that kind of thing. So just everything's changing. Communication in terms of how things work, mental and emotional health. Like they didn't used to have mental health days. You know what I'm saying? But if they stress you out at the job, I have some friends that have taken mental health days for the summer. You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, you're not going to stress me out. But go ahead. You was going to say.
No, I was going to say that it started changing before the pandemic gradually. Because, if you think back to the 40s and the 50s when studs did that thing, everything was pretty much, following the Industrial Revolution. People worked in factories. People did
like it was a lot of manual labor.
Repetitive kind of labor.
I mean, with automation, with new improvements in technology. It's not full automation like it is right now.
Improvements.
Somebody had to work the machine.
But then once the computer started and the internet and this and that, all that just kind of changed the environment because now you had all these jobs that were knowledge jobs and tech jobs. And what could you think about? And if you're a person that is creative and you can come up with innovative ideas, and then people started to recognize the value of that. Yes. So I think the changes kind of started before, but then by the pandemic, it just kind of went to a whole nother level.
It just kicked everything into overdrive. Yeah. And I think there is a greater recognition because of the pandemic, even though everybody seems to be going backwards, but that's what y'all want to do. Of health, right? Like you are, even if you're an employee, right, or you work somewhere, the quality of your work is affected by the quality of your lifestyle, of your health, your mental, emotional, your physical health. If you're not well, then your work is going to suffer, right? Yep. And looking at work, like President Obama was saying, for his girls, it's like they don't want to do work that's not fulfilling or doesn't bring them happiness. And I think, particularly in communities of color, we watch people do all kinds of jobs that they didn't want to do for years. You know what I mean? And
right.
Had to do multiple jobs, right? Just for the survival mechanism of it all. But if you don't have proper balance in that, right, you have burnout, decreased productivity, strained relationships in the home, all those sorts of things because, work be stressing you out, then home be stressing you out, then you spend all this time at work getting all this money and then it's not helping pay the bills and then you got to go get another job and then you're not spending time with the people that really matter. So I think that's what the pandemic really did was make everybody who was sort of on that hamster wheel of running, like everybody had to stop everything. I don't care what you did. You know what I mean? If you was
for a minute,
if you was a jet setter for, every other week, you was set down. You know what I mean? So everybody really had to be like, let me take a pause here and figure out. And yeah, I think, this stuff made everybody kind of think about what they wanted to do. And maybe some people are still working towards what they want to do, but you definitely be like, but I hate this though. You know what I mean? And I think that the efficiency of you as a worker, as a person who can produce and wants to do something meaningful, right? And nobody will spend all these hours doing something they absolutely love. That's a lot of time away from people you care about, memories you could be making, stuff you could be doing just to hustle for the check. And there's no shame in being in survival mode. But I think taking time to also figure out like what is going to invigorate and inspire and ignite you as a person that you can also make money from is worth the pursuit of trying to like think about, find out, and explore. And even if you got to do it halftime while you do something else, which is what a lot of people did, right? Like somebody was really a musician, but they was working in tech. You know, somebody wanted to be a makeup artist, but she was like, well, Uber Eats keeps my schedule flexible, right? So still trying to figure out what that balance looks like. And when you're rested too, it gives you fresh new perspective and outlook on what you should be present for doing every day. But if you kind of just on the hamster wheel a little bit, I don't think you're really bringing your full self to your work, which can cause your performance to suffer, you as a person to suffer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So hustling is good, but there is a breakdown even to the hustle.
Yeah, and I think, kind of going back to the pandemic too, it unleashed a whole new kind of creativity because one reason people had to figure something else out, but two, they had the time to figure it out. True. And I think that is what has kind of come out of this whole, is a part of this evolution, is figuring out when you have the time, when you are rested, when your body is in the right state, your creativity and innovation can increase proportionately. So you're not just doing something, you're figuring out, you're coming to an understanding of the best way to do it, if that makes sense.
Ideally.
And the most efficient and the most effective way to do it. Because again, people were doing all kinds of concerts during the pandemic, the verses, the different things.
Verses.
Yeah, the different things
really
that people came up with in the pandemic.
They had to get innovative
to be innovative. And again, it's because you had the time. You had the time.
And the money, okay? I cannot stress to several of my friends that I talk to, we don't like the death, okay? The death part of lockdown was terrible. But my friends were literally like, I was making so much money from the house, okay? Depending on what their actual job was, plus the stimulus, like they were like, I was well rested, working better, had time to work and do the things I actually cared about, and I was still financially well off. You know what I mean? So
pleasant.
It was what America could be, okay? Because in other parts of the world, okay, they take siestas. They have paid sick leave, they have paternity leave, you know what I mean? For
afternoon
things when actual life things happen, and they're like, listen, work is important, but it ain't more important than this. And capitalism doesn't always afford you those type of opportunities.
Yeah. And when you take the rest, you get a different perspective. You think about things differently. You unlock a lot of your creative potential because your mind, and we'll talk about the different brains and the different functions or whatever. But if you're always in survival mode, it never gives you the time to think, to be innovative, to go to the next level, because you're just down here with the grind all the time, and you can't sit back and look at things from a bigger perspective and say, hey, maybe this is a different way that we can go with this. So what does that look like? It's different for everybody. For some people, yoga, Pilates, meditation, pursuing creative outlets, painting. Jessica's friends were talking about taking a pottery class, which I've always wanted to do.
Sure.
So,
oh, y'all fancy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, pottery class.
But you, sometimes it's a walk, it's art, it's nature, it's music.
It's giving your brain time to rest.
To rest from the it's a different kind of activity. Your brain is moving, but it's a different kind of activity in your brain. It's more creative, which releases certain chemicals in your body, like oxytocin versus cortisol. When you're on the grind, you have a lot of cortisol. You're like this, trying to get stuff done. Tension. Stress. Those other things that we're talking about, they come in and they relax you, and they relax your mind, they relax your body, and they reduce your stress, which for us as the melanated
archives
people,
shout out to you.
There's so much stress anyway that we're dealing with from living in America.
Shout out to Apollo Creed and Adonis, Bianca, and
James Brown. But there's so much stress that goes along with that in the first place that anytime you can figure out a way to give your mind some kind of rest and creativity,
and I think it's worth saying that your brain kind of is already always in survival mode. Like that's why the brain exists, right? To a certain extent, is to make sure that you survive every day. So we're not saying that's bad per se, because your brain is doing what it's going to do, which is to protect you and keep you alive or whatever. But it also has a function of creativity and imagination and all those things. So I think, like we always say, in the Gemini and me would say, it's really all about the balance. Okay, you don't want to be so survival oriented that you never are creative. You don't be so creative that you also are not thinking about
taking care of your business,
survival mode. So that's an artist struggle. But anyway,
that's a whole nother show. So, but when you look at it from that perspective, then you start to think that maybe rest and relaxation are not just indulgences, they're necessary. And for me personally, I'm sure you will agree, that is a hard concept, the rest and relaxation.
Because you're from the hamster wheel generation. Y'all just be
I am. I'm old, and this is a generational thing where I'm like, we could be doing something right now, even if we're,
every day, at every hour of, we should be doing something. I'm like, I am doing something. I'm resting. It's like, or I resting is a thing. She's like, you're just watching, half and half is gone now. But she's like, you just watching. I said, that's me choosing to do something. Like I am doing something. You just laying in the floor. I am relaxing my brain. Like I am always doing something. But we should be doing something else. Like what? I don't know. But we should be. I'm like, girl, I can't manage your anxiety.
Oh my gosh. But it is a baby boomer thing.
It's also corporate America. Bro.
It is a baby boomer. It's corporate America, which I worked in for over 30 years, So it's hard. It's hard to feel like I'm not doing anything, but it's also generational teaching. She is showing me that particular path sometimes is what's necessary to get to the next level of the work, because you really can't think about it.
Because what are you doing?
You can't
really. What are you doing?
Yeah, you can't think clearly.
Running in place.
So when you take that time and you relax and get that oxytocin flowing into your body, now your creativity should increase. Your mental clarity can increase. Your imagination can increase, which can be very inspirational. And whatever your work is, hopefully you can find somewhere in there for it to inspire you. And if not, hopefully you can think about some other kind of work that you could be doing that might be more inspirational. Like you said, even if you have to do that one for a while until you can get to the one that's more inspirational. You want to find creative ways to be disciplined, to do the things you have to do, but to also be disciplined and decide how you're going to incorporate that rest and relaxation so that you have the proper balance and you don't get frustrated. And when you get frustrated, it affects your relationships. And when it affects your relationships, then now you got a regular show going on. Everybody's popping off, mad.
And nobody wants to work with you.
And nobody wants to work with you. Nobody wants to spend time with you. Listen, the holidays used to be very, 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 very stressful around here because I had an idea of what Christmas
is. In them Hallmark or them holiday movies, the person who's real into Christmas, that's her. But she don't have no real into Christmas help. Like we'll do it, but like we not. I think you always had an expectation that like we knew how that should go. Like we should just, or she will wait till Christmas Eve at midnight
because I'm doing a million other things.
But doing a million other things by choice. Okay, you could have gave us a to-do list. Like these are the things today. Now I'm not gonna say that they would have got done. But if you could have helped yourself,
which is very frustrating,
but you could have delegated some of them responsibilities. We don't put up Christmas lights. We don't do nothing. We might buy a Christmas tree. That's my only request. Do I ask for a lot of things? I'd be like, I need a Christmas tree. I would like to smell pine. That helps my serotonin levels at the holidays. But the rest of it, I just want to eat, watch movies.
See, That's what you need. For me, I might need a few more things.
That's fine.
For
All
the
I'm saying is
serotonin.
don't wait until the 11 o'clock hour to be like, and now let's create an extravaganza. People start doing that. What is it?
Now.
October 2nd? That started now.
They are starting now. I saw
Some
that
people
the
do
other
not
day. I was like,
respect
no.
the indigenous
no.
people's holiday at all, and they skip it and they start putting this stuff up right now. We ain't never been them people, okay? So I'm just saying.
See how that can happen? See how that frustration and that.
I'll let you know how the holidays go, though.
Yes,
we
will let you.
No,
because I've managed to lower my expectation of what it takes to be Christmas, which is what I'm trying to say.
Didn't your people have help though? Y'all had help. Y'all helped.
No, we did not. I mean, well, we helped each other, but I'm saying that in order to get to a place of harmony where I'm happy during the holidays, I have managed to figure out what is really, really important. That is a must-have, not just a want to have. What's a must-have?
But you know why the frustration? Because she want to work during the holidays, and we want to rest during the holidays, and that is work. All of that is work.
You see,
put the this up and the that and the this and the we got to do. It's work, and we be like, yo.
And listen, if nobody else wants to do it, you should figure out.
Listen, I'm
going to do what I can do, and that's all I can do.
But I'm like, a holiday extravaganza in 12 hours is really crazy.
Okay, we've gone off on a tangent here about the holidays.
I'm just trying to help somebody.
We are trying to let you know that if you don't manage the expectation,
you see how when you touch a nerve, she want to just change the subject. I'm trying to talk to your tribe about delegation. Okay, if you have holiday expectations, okay. Or adjustment of said expectations. We can do a little something. But we might not be doing all the things. Maybe we can plan some activities. I like to ice skate during the holidays. We don't never do that. We don't never go.
Not all self ain't getting.
But whatever, you can go.
We did. We went ice skating last year.
Yeah, with the kids. See what I'm saying? You could do holiday things. It ain't just But it's a little work. But it ain't like. We didn't have to make the cocoa. We wasn't like, let's build an ice skating rink.
We didn't build the ice
skating rink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, just taper your expectations a little bit.
My God.
I'm not saying you can't want what you want, but it's a give and take. It's harmony. It's balance.
Harmony. That's what we're talking about today. Harmony and balance. So
there's some tools, some strategies,
technologies,
and some strategies to
help manage all of this.
Evolve your approach to productivity. See how they can change the subject for this.
No, that's the subject.
Anyway, for balance, number one, prioritize your self-care. I feel like we say it all the time.
Because it's important.
Your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, well-being, incorporating activities, sleep. People forget that one. I didn't just mean you. I just mean in general. You have to sleep sometimes. Your body was designed that way. I know people like, I ain't never got it. It's the first way you're going to burn out. Just say. Sleep. We say mindfulness all the time. Some form of physical activity. We're not the best at that, but whatever. Anything that will just put you in a calm state. Like I meditated today. I don't know that it helped. But
I stretched
but I did.
Yeah,
and sometimes
really
I stretch because it's been a struggle to get in my body these days. But yeah, just doing things that make you feel centered, grounded, etc. Establish boundaries, setting boundaries. We've been talking about that. I feel like for the majority of the month. If you have not, we talked about this last week, but I feel like we didn't talk about it. It was brief because we had things to do. But if you have not seen Kirk Franklin's Father's Day documentary, currently on the YouTube, you need to go see it because he is teaching a master class on how to set boundaries. Okay.
Yep.
With his birth mom, with his Auntie Sandra, with his kids. It's a master class in setting boundaries. Yep. Shout out to Dr. Acho for teaching him that because he got that. Okay. And it's just important to have, like we always say, in personal life, but also in work, right? Actually, somebody sent me this. What is the song? Oh, it was Cupid. If you know 112's Cupid, but it was stupid and a couple expletives. But it was to the tune of Cupid by 112, and it was this white girl who had clown makeup on, and essentially, and she was typing at a computer, and essentially the thing was when you was trying to make yourself available to do more work to be helpful, but you just ended up just doing more work. Like you're not any more happy, any more fulfilled, and nobody give you no promotion, no extra money, no nothing. You just end up doing extra work. It was very funny. I laughed about it for about 10 minutes. Just because it was creative. But that is part of establishing boundaries. I think I've definitely been in work situations where I want to be like helpful and a good colleague and show that I'm a part of the team, especially because in storytelling, all of it is ensemble. I don't care. You could be the A-list celebrity, whatever. You're only doing one part of the job. There's 30,000 other people doing something. And if one or two of those people don't show up, something is falling by the wayside. So because it's ensemble work, you just learn how to pick up the slack. But yeah, the thing got done, but I might be feeling like trash afterwards. Mm-hmm. So you just, especially, I think that's sort of maybe a millennial thing too. I feel like y'all was better about that. But sometimes
What about doing other people's work?
No, about saying like I'm not going. Well, it depends. I guess it depends. It's also probably personality, temperament, whatever.
I saw a really funny meme about that too, where it was showing people from
different generations.
Different generations.
I'm gonna tell you who got it. Gen Z. They be like, I'm closing this. I'm not gonna do it. Don't call me for the rest of the day. Well, millennial, we'll try. But I think it's a matter of, establishing things that work. That you want to be a part of the team or whatever. But when you on your personal time is your personal time. It was very hard to do that in production because everything was an emergency all the time.
Which is why you don't work.
You was just on call all the time. So, it just really depends on what your industry is. But if you have a place where you can set those type of boundaries of, I'm working from 9 to 6, but after 6, everything else got to wait till I'm back on the clock the next day. So shout out to those people that establish those kind of boundaries. Even as a service worker, okay? There was a girl in the documentary, she quit that because they was talking about what they say, you got to shave the people, bathe the people,
change
the diapers, do all this. It was a lunch, pick up their medications,
and I could
do
see
this,
her
do
face
that.
The whole time.
And she had a baby herself.
They were saying all the things that she was going to have to do. And I could see, I was like, oh, she's not going to make it.
But I'm going to tell you when she wasn't going to make it, she was like, because she had this whole impassioned plea that she was want to help people. Because she was like, I'm going to be old one day, so I want to help the elderly, this and the third. And they was like, yeah, so you got to do this, 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 and this. And she was like, okay. For $9 an hour. And that's when she said, whoop, I mentally left the building. Because
she had a boundary and it wasn't $9.
It was crazy. And she had a baby who was like kind of, newish, like maybe 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months. And then they would be calling her, asking her to stay later than she needed to stay. So she had to establish a boundary. So number 3, delegate and outsource, which we was talking about earlier.
With Christmas.
Delegate with anything, okay? It's really a hard skill, especially if you're a person who's used to doing everything yourself, to be able to break
the cycle.
break what you would do down in order to be able to tell somebody else what to do. Now, they might not do it how you gonna do it. But as long as it gets done, does it matter? Because that's where the anxiety comes in for some people who are A-type personalities and they just feel like they got to do everything. I'm not necessarily talking about you, but it's not just that they're not going to do it the way you want to do it. But does it matter if it gets done? That's the point. So taking the time to actually sit
and have so much more patience now,
all the steps and break down like, okay, I do this. This is my first step, the first to the 20th step, and then be like, okay, I want to do 1 through 3. But the rest of these, let me figure out who I can delegate that to and who will be good at it. Now, you have to also pay attention to people's skill set, right? Don't be delegating to somebody. Don't be delegating time things to people you know ain't good with time. You know what I'm saying? You also got to know who's good at what. Therefore, that will help your delegation skills, okay?
And you also have, which is the next thing you're going to talk about, the time management. Because what happens is
everyone's not. I feel like I'm pretty good at time management.
What happens with time management
for delegation? Now, my own personal life is my own personal life. But when I delegate tasks, I'm like, how you doing? You doing good? Is it working out?
But what happens with it is, like you said, you have to take the time to think about your 1 through 20 steps. Like, this is what.
But you should do that before the 11 o'clock hour.
I know what you're going to say, but I'm just saying, if you don't have good time management skills and the rest time that we were talking about, you can't
You're
figure
running.
out what the steps are to delegate to anybody to help you. Like you might need help, but you can't stop long enough to think about what help do I need? What does it look like? And who can help me
And you
do
know
that?
what they're gonna say? It's just easier that I do it myself.
Exactly. You
And
wind up doing
then
that.
they'll turn around and be like, I don't have any help. No one helps me. And then you go, huh? No one ever helps me. Well, did you take the time to delegate the steps? No, but no one helps me. So I'm saying what I was gonna say. That sounds
This is
like
a very truthful chat
that
today.
sounds like a personal problem.
This is a
If you need
very
help,
truthful chat.
you need to figure it out. It's like when I was working on the play, I didn't have no stage manager. I knew I don't have time. I'm not gonna be here to be tracking all y'all props. So what did I do? I found somebody significant other in the cast who was hanging around and hanging out at all the rehearsals. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna give you a task. And they were grateful and they were great at it. Okay. But I had to take the time to be like, I had done this enough to be like, okay, I know what the steps are. I identified this is a person that could do that. And then I let them take the rest. She had a checklist. We went over it. We did this. I said, hey, how you doing on that? I checked in as I was doing other things. It's just a couple of steps. Okay. So anyway, that was delegated outsource. Time management. Okay. And that's just, again, taking time to figure out said tasks that you would normally do that you are now delegating to said other person. Number 5 is disconnect. Okay. This is important. There's disconnecting from people. If you have to, I'm a big proponent of people and enough, okay? Because they drain you. They take your energy. It's a lot to be around humans. They're a lot. Even if you're not really around them. The amount of driving that I've been doing, a very short distance, but the level of road rage that I've experienced in the last month and a half has been out of control.
Well, people are
humans
still in a state.
Are annoying. Okay.
Also, and they're in a state.
They're very much in the state, but your state don't need to be my state.
We're very much.
I'm just trying to get us as humanity. There's a lot going on. I'll give you that. But when you operate in a motor vehicle, just drive straight. That's all I ask. Don't. The amount of people who feel like they shouldn't have to miss the exit. I almost got in an accident the other day because somebody was like, "Oh, this is my exit," and just start coming across the lanes. I was like, oh, so we just all got to stop because you out here now. It's a lot. Just be a responsible human. That's all I'm asking. Anyway, disconnect from the humans, okay?
Sometimes.
But also disconnect from the things, okay? All the technology, the Apple Watches and alarms and the phones and the gram and it just
the
TikToks and even the streaming platforms. It's a lot of things to watch. They're gonna be there. You know what I mean? Just sometimes you just gotta unplug and look for the meaningful interactions or the spaces. Or if you're going to do technology, can you incorporate it in your meaningful relationships? Like we watch shows and TV and stuff together. You know what I mean? Turn it into a time of harmony and not just be in an isolated, and connection and harmony and not just a
take your disconnection and make
experience.
It a connection experience.
Yes. Or take your connection and make it a further connection experience, however you want to do it, but disconnected.
But now, just like we're saying, you have to disconnect from the technology and this, that, and the other. Sometimes the technology, it can be a tool that can make your life easier and can make you have more.
Despite what they say about the AI, it's a useful tool right now.
It can be a useful
AI
tool.
is going to change because it's learning from us.
Yeah.
And like I said, humans can be trash. So just be better, and then maybe the robots will be better too. But anyway.
So anything that you can probably think of, there's probably an app for that. I used to be very, as I used to call it, apprehensive because I didn't understand. For a long time, I wouldn't do the apps. But now I've kind of gotten
You can't
used
really
to them.
get her off of them is what she's really trying to
That's
say.
not true. But there are a lot of productivity apps
okay.
that can help you manage your tasks, set reminders. I have my little notes. I have my little things. Help me to remember what I need to do. And when I think about it, I write it down so that I don't have to keep thinking about it over and over again. It's somewhere I can look at it. I can check it off. I release oxytocin when I check things off my list. I know you don't care, but I do. It helps you stay organized. There's an app for that. Time tracking tools like we talked about.
I wish I was better at that, but it's something about
you never have been.
It's just
okay.
It's just something about you telling me like I gotta stop doing this now because of the BP alarm. Like I'd be like, get out of my face. Like if I want to keep working on this, I'm gonna keep working on it. You're not gonna tell me app.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it would be useful. Maybe I feel like I was getting
Try
more
it.
done.
Yeah. So,
But I don't
or
know.
how long you're doing something, or I need to move from this task to that task. This is my rest time. You can put in, this is the time that I'm going to rest.
My rest
I'm
time is
going
right.
to
cut it off.
I'm going to stop now and move and do this. I'm going to walk. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to, whatever it is. You can set those time management apps to help you stay on track with what you're committed to try to do. Communication platforms, you can leverage those, like we're using this. StreamYard is a communication platform to be able to talk to people and connect as well. And there are lots of them. Or if you're in a position where you have a team that you work with, there's a lot of collaborative things that you can do, like Asana and Monday.com. And what's the other one?
We will take affiliate links, or
what's the other ones?
We will take affiliate links, or we will promote these platforms that we use. I just want to keep pointing that out as you just be dropping gems, but no monetary
absolutely
excellence.
But there are ways that you can manage and work with your team so that you're not calling each other back. Are we going to meet Monday? Maybe we can meet Tuesday. Is so-and-so available?
That's going to make me
There's
disconnect.
An app for that, right?
Disconnect.
There's an app for that where everybody can go in, say which days they're available, and it cuts down time.
And you work smarter.
You work smarter.
You hustle smarter.
And then the mindfulness apps, the ones you put on, Calm, this, whatever it is.
I miss the Shine app. Shout out to the Shine app. It was a great app.
Yeah, but there are a lot of apps to help you calm down and get into that place where you are protecting your energy. You are moving forward with the rest and relaxation, for however it works for you, so that then you can move back into whatever you need to do to create. Not hustle, but to create and be productive.
Big facts.
And just keep in mind the constant, there's good and bad in everything. So you need to have a balance in your technology. There's a balance in that too. You use it for what it's productive for. You cut it off when it becomes overwhelming, doom scrolling, all that thing. You have to
not disturb.
Yeah, you have to put it in your mind. That's enough. I've had enough. We've all had enough. Let me take some time and step back and disconnect, because it can be detrimental if you let it. So make sure the apps help you. As Jess likes to say, master the tech. Don't let the tech master you. You use it for what you need it for. And sometimes at the end of the day, you just need a digital detox, period. You need to say, I'm off of that today. I can't.
We off that.
I cannot. We are off today. We're taking a day off from all the tech. And you'd be surprised.
I mean, it's hard because it's a computer in your pocket.
Yeah.
But do your best. I mean,
or a few hours if you can't do the whole day.
Yeah, I think it just depends on where you are and what you're doing. But yeah, you shouldn't be hooked up to them things all the time. The goal is to just, again, like we always say, figure out how to create generational wellness for ourselves, for others. We're looking for fulfillment, happiness in our personal lives, but also in our work lives. And that's possible. I think that's important to say, because I think people feel like maybe I'll be happy in my life at some point, but my work is just what it is. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. We're just going to hustle the hard way and see what happens. And not to say there's anything wrong with hustling. You know what I mean? We know many hustlers that are on. But I also will say that they'll say that the hustle cost them probably in some places more than they were willing to pay. And so, yeah, just making sure that work is part of your overall wellness journey too. Like, don't make it like a separate thing, right? To be like, well, I'm mentally and emotionally well in my marriage or with my kids or whatever, but at work they just they're gonna take me as I am. You can have the whole picture.
You can have wellness at work. How about that?
Yeah, because it's not about sacrificing one thing for the other. It's about
at work and in your work, because I don't want to just say it's like when you have to go to work. Some of us work
at the crib or
from home or independently or gig, whatever. But whatever that thing is, that you use your creativity, your gifts, your talents to create income that's work. And so we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and you want to be harmonious in your interactions in both spaces. But that only works if you is doing your work. So you can't just be like, I listen to this podcast and now I feel like, well, yeah, but is you doing the work though required from all the other episodes of stuff that we be talking about? That's about you, because remember, everything starts with creating wellness within yourself, and then you can pass it on to others, which is the wellness part. So, this is just a reminder. As Beyonce would say. Just take an inventory of where you feel fulfilled, unfulfilled, happy, not happy, could be making some changes. Things are good, or maybe you're at that space, especially as the holidays are coming up, that hopefully you won't be just working your behind off and not taking no rest period, because that's what this is for. Like, it's the end of the year for a reason. This is when they say you're supposed to be worried about your fellow man and taking time to sit down with your people and reconnect after a whole year doing things. So, make that part of the part of the plan. Part of the plan. We've been talking about family things, but also taking time to assess your work and your work ethic, and if you're doing things that you think are important, making a difference, making you feel fulfilled, and something you are excited about doing, even on the hard days.
And the goal is not to reduce your work ethic; it's to sustain your work.
That's
ethic.
True. Did I say get rid of it?
No. I meant to say that earlier, and I forgot to say it. Not that you said. But we're not saying, just don't do anything or whatever, but figure out how you can sustain it, how you can balance it so that you're doing the right amount of work, the right amount of rest, the right amount of rejuvenation
for you,
the right amount of restoration for you, so that you can stay healthy and stay well. That's our prayer.
And find you some harmony, some serenity, and that you can have healthy ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coupled with some self-care. All right. So hustle to harmony. It should really be hustle and harmony. Okay. It should actually be both. There's no either or. It's always the both. So yeah, with that,
I think we're done for today.
Yeah. Speaking of both ends, you should probably be doing both YouTube and IG. You should be subscribing, following, and on Facebook as well. Fan base, we're on all the things. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you are watching this, leave us some comments. If you're listening to this in the audio space, leave a little review or something. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We will be here all the Thursdays. So
even Thanksgiving,
we're gonna be here all the Thursdays. We said we was gonna be here all the Thursdays. By the time 2023 is over, we will have had 52 episodes,
and that was our goal.
This is 42, so we got 10 more.
See, that caused me a little anxiety, because that's it's only 10 weeks till the end of the year. Like, oh my goodness, but it is what it is.
What you gonna do? 10 more episodes. See, why you take it as a negative? I'm like, it's 10.
No.
I
didn't mean
10 more weeks.
No. I didn't mean in terms of this, in terms of the podcast.
Oh.
I just meant in terms of the year is about to be over and it's Christmas. I can tell you.
Get some food, watch some movies, kick it.
Watch us. Keep coming back. Watch how we make it through the holidays. That'll be a truthful chat.
It's the consumerism part of it that makes everybody a little extra stressed.
And we don't do that much. We're not big gifts.
So then the stress of your own choosing.
Bye, y'all. We'll see you next Thursday.
Y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Hey.